Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Halty Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Halty Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. Equity is a key component of startup compensation for founders and employees. While cash may be king in the short term, equity will be worth more in the long run. Here are some best practices for founders to follow. Treat equity as a scarce commodity it is and deploy it strategically and carefully. Avoid using equity for short-term goals such as upgrading websites or purchasing inventory. Consider alternative forms of funding for anything related to cash flow and inventory. Set aside equity to compensate the team and take on potential investors. While it dilutes the founder, it gives the company the capability to grow larger. A smaller percentage of a big number is better than 100% of a very small number. Align your compensation with the employees' needs. Know who on your team values equity and will work for it and who prefers cash. If equity is not worth it to them, then reduce their equity share and give it to others who find it motivating. Map out your equity ownership through subsequent rounds of funding. Important to know how much equity you're giving away on each round. By running a fully diluted cap table on each term sheet you plan to use, you'll know how much that raise will cost you. Consider these points in managing equity for your startup. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Halty Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.